Hello everyone, Danny here today to talk to you about the audiobook Dragonslayer, written by one of my favorite authors, Duncan M. Hamilton, narrated by Simon Vance. Now this is a book that takes place in the same world as Duncan Hamilton's other books, but it doesn't take place in the same time zone. So he's got two other trilogies on Audible. He likes to do trilogies, and this is going to be a trilogy. It says that in the publisher summary about the book. It's going to be a trilogy. He likes doing trilogies. And his other two trilogies, and I'll put a little link down below to my reviews of those trilogies, they occur in the same world as this book, but they don't occur in the same time zone. They don't occur with any of the other characters. This is one of the things that I really like about Duncan Hamilton's books, is you get introduced to this world that he's created, but you get introduced to different people and different time frames each time. And you kind of have to try and piece it together and figure out where in the time frame does this book fall related to the other two books. And I personally have my idea of where it falls in the book. But the premise of this book is dragons are gone. They've been hunted to extinction. And you had this special order of fighters, I'll call them knights. I didn't write down I can't pronounce it, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Anyhow, the special order of fighters, who their entire job originally was to fight the dragons. Now, they give you history of the dragons' relationships with man, and it's kind of a fun bit of a history that comes in this book. I haven't seen it in any of the other books. By the way, interesting point here. The first Duncan Hamilton book I ever listened to, I didn't like it at all. I posted a pretty bad review of it, and I had several people take an interesting approach. Now, normally when you review a book and you give it a bad review, and the people who love that book get on there, they call you names, they insult you, they tell you you're stupid, you know, this, that, and the other thing. These people didn't do that. I had 2 or 3 people that took the approach of getting on there and saying, hey, this is an amazing book. We love Duncan Hamilton's books. We really enjoy them. We think maybe when you listen to it, you just didn't listen well enough, or, you know, maybe you were having a bad day or something, but would you mind re-listening to the book and giving it another shot? And because they approached it so politely, and because they approached it so nicely, I went ahead and I listened to the book again. And I loved it. I was like, this is going to be one of those books that I return to and return to and return to, which goes to show you, just because you don't enjoy a book right now doesn't mean that that book is not the right book for you. It just means right now you're not in a mood. I don't know, the first time I listened to the book, maybe I was like in the mood for a detective novel, or like they said, just having a bad day, whatever. I don't know. Excuse me here. Boy. But if a book is of a style that you normally like, and for some reason you're not just jiving with the book that time, try putting it down. Try coming back to it later when you're like really in the mood for that style of a book. Because what would have happened is, if those people, boy, excuse me, if those people hadn't have convinced me to give this book another try, I would have missed out. I would have given up on Duncan Hamilton. I would not have ended up coming back to him every time one of his books was released on Audible. This book, Dragonslayer, I pre-ordered this book. As soon as I saw Duncan Hamilton's, he's got, oh, boom, there's the credit. I'm pre-ordering that, baby. Yeah! I would have missed out on that. And I love his books. So don't do that. Don't be like, okay, I'm not jiving with this book right now. If it's a book that you really thought you'd enjoy, put it away, come back to it later. Some point in time when you're like, I think I'm really in the mood for it. I'm going to give that book another try. You might find, like me, that you really love that book. And for whatever reason, it just wasn't jiving with you the first time. Before I go any further, though, I have a favor to ask. If you love audiobooks, please, books in general, I don't care, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, come join me on my audiobook journey. Now, enough of that side little rabbit trail that I just went off on. Back to this book. It's narrated by Simon Vance. He's an amazing narrator, does an absolutely wonderful job of his narration. There was nothing in this book that would have had me pulling it away from my kids and saying, hey, there's foul language, there's sex, there's whatever. I don't want you guys listening to this one until you're a little bit older. And I guarantee you my boys would have loved this book. You have Gil, who was a member of the Chevalier of the Silver Circle, I think it was called, and I may not be pronouncing it correct. Anyhow, he was a member of that knighthood, that group of warriors that was formed to fight dragons. But he came to it late in life. He came to it to a point in time to where the dragons had been destroyed, and really it was just a bunch of great swordsmen drinking, and they do mention whoring in it. Actually, now that I think about it, they do mention whoring. So that's the closest they come to anything like that. But they're drinking and whoring, and that's how they mention it. Is they're good for nothing but drinking and whoring is all they're good for by this point in time. And he's the greatest swordsman in the world. He gets disgraced. When you meet him, he's a drunkard. And a dragon is woken up. There turns out to be a dragon left. The dragon is woken up. He gets called to the kingdom. Now, he has a very bitter rival, the Prince Bishop. Him and the Prince Bishop are the worst kind of enemies. And it's more on the Prince Bishop side than on his side. He could care less about the Prince Bishop. The Prince Bishop just wants to utterly destroy him. Well, he gets dragged in and convinced to go fight this dragon, to go kill this last dragon. And it's because of what the dragon is doing. The dragon is not a good guy in this book. The dragon is not really a bad guy or a good guy. This is one of the things I like about the book. The humans are not the good guys and the dragon the bad guy. If you were to listen to this book from the dragon's point of view, the dragon would be the good guy, the humans would be the bad guy. Listening to it from the human's point of view, dragon's the bad guy, human's the good guy. Listen to it from both points of view, you just have two groups that can't exist together unless they can find a way to overcome their past. It relates a lot to a lot of different groups we have today. You've got a lot of groups today that, because of the way our countries and our religions have handled each other, there's a lot of excess baggage there, and they're not going to exist together unless they can find a way to get over that excess baggage. And I'm not going to go on any kind of a political rant. But along the way, he rescues this girl, Celine. Now, Celine is about to be burned at the stake as a witch, and he rescues her. So you expect this kind of a romance between him and Celine to occur. This is the first book in the trilogy. There might be a romance between him and Celine, but if so, it hasn't budded yet. They're really good friends. They really care about each other, but it hasn't moved to the romance stage. There's like no romance in this first book at all. There's hints that it could end up arriving, but there's none there yet. You have a lot of intrigue. You have the Prince Bishop, who is the total, complete, evil, bad guy. He's the perfect guy to root against. He's the guy you want to see utterly destroyed. He's smart. He's manipulative. And he's trying to twist and turn everything to really set himself up to be more powerful than the king. To set himself up to be like the Roman Church used to be. The Roman Catholic Church used to be, when it could control kings and tell kings what to do because they were afraid of the church. He wants to get himself into that kind of a powerful position there. And so he's manipulating and twisting and turning. He's not doing it in a good way. at all. And Gil doesn't know what he's doing. Gil is actually a little too naive. Gil is really, really rusty. This is one of the things that, too, I really liked about the book. When Gil gets into his first several battles, it's not like, hey, the greatest swordsman in the world has been sitting around drinking himself and getting fat for the last month, and now all of a sudden his skills are going to come flashing back and he's this amazing swordsman. Nope. He gets into his first couple of battles and he's like, wow, it used to be I could kill this person in my sleep and I'm about to die, and someone has to come in and rescue him from whoever he's facing. He realizes, hey, I've lost it all. And he decides, okay, I'm going to give up the drink. And it's a battle. It's not something to where, a lot of books, I'm going to give up the drink, boom, drink is given up. No, it's a battle. It's a fight. And it's done well enough that you keep waiting for him to slip and you keep waiting for him to fall. And I'm not going to tell you if he does or not. You got to listen to the book on that one. But he also starts daily getting up and going through all of the old practices and drills that he used to do, because he doesn't like who he's become and he wants to get who he was back. He has personal failings that weigh on him and determine him. The ending of the book leaves you wondering where it's really gonna go from here. It's a trilogy. They say that in the beginning. And I don't really see where you're going to really get a trilogy out of this. If up to that point, what has happened with the dragon, I'm trying to think how to word this without really giving anything away. If up to that point, what has happened with the dragon, all of the stories about the dragon and everything are true, where's the story going to go? How are you going to get a trilogy out of this book? Second book is about to be released. I've already pre-ordered it, and I can't wait for that book to come out. This did not let me down at all. Duncan Hamilton is still one of my favorite authors. This book is still going to go into my, I'm going to return to this book. I'm going to return to this series. I'm going to return to Duncan Hamilton and re-listen to those books. All of his books, all three of his trilogies, because this is now his third one. They're all the types of books to where you're listening to another book. And I know you've had this happen. If you're any kind of a book reader, any kind of a book listener, you'll be reading another book, in my case, listening to another book, and something will trigger and you'll be like, wait. Oh, I missed that. No, I want to listen to that. No, you know what? This book isn't doing it for me, but I really miss this other book. I really miss this other character. I miss this other person. I miss this other world. And you end up pulling it out and returning to it like an old friend. That's the way Duncan books are. They're that well done. They're that well written. Simon Vance, who he uses as a narrator, is just that good of a narrator. I cannot recommend this book or his other books more than I am. I can't recommend them enough, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, on that note, if you liked the video, hit the like button. It's kind of went all over the place. Lots of rabbit trails today. Sorry about that, but hey, it is what it is. I don't edit my videos. I don't even script my videos out. I just have a book I want to talk about. I talk about the book and whatever else, as you can see, pops into my head. And then I post it and hope you like it. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you like my channel, subscribe. Turn on notifications. Questions, comments, feedback. It's what the comment section's for. But most importantly, no matter what else you do today, make sure that today you listen to at least one really good book. And oh boy, do I recommend Dragonslayer by Duncan M. Hamilton. Say that real fast 3 times.